Well, it was really nice to act with actors that aren't mannequins because they tend to express emotion more.
5, 4, 3. Okay, so we ready? Here we go. Heard well now. Heard well now. Well now. One podcast playground for all your favorite creators and musicians.
What's up, guys? Xavier Brinkman here with you, and welcome to Heard Well Now. Heard Well Now is a Castbox original, and this week on the podcast we have the ever mysterious singer, actress, and YouTuber, Poppy. Now, if you aren't familiar with Poppy, she's a robotic-sounding character portrayed by the 23-year-old musician Mariah Perriera, which was created by herself and director Titanic Sinclair. Poppy claims to be an alien or being of the internet and started out on YouTube in 2014 creating bizarre videos which have since amassed over 300 million views. She then shocked her audience once again, signing to Island Records in 2016 to release her debut EP Bubble Bath, and then signed to Diplo's label in 2017, releasing her first studio album, Poppy.Computer. I really didn't know what to expect with this interview, and I have to admit I was a little nervous as to how in character she was going to be. Poppy swooped into the W Hotel wearing a pink frilly dress, big purple sunglasses, and holding a Sphinx cat with its nails painted pink that she introduced as Pi. She was very softly spoken and greeted me with a big smile and was actually quite chatty. I showed her and her manager up to the studio, we played with her cat for a few minutes, and then dived into the interview. How you doing?
Hi, I'm Poppy.
But how are you? What's keeping you busy right now?
Well, today, the 10th of July, we just announced that I am going on a tour in the fall.
Okay. Who's the tour with?
Myself and...
Headlining tour?
Yes.
Congratulations. How do you enjoy touring?
I love it because I get to see all the fans, and they're very nice to me, and they like to paint and draw and make dolls for me.
Okay, that's the most common thing you get. The gifts you get.
Mm-hmm.
Dolls.
Yeah.
So you got quite a few of them now.
Yes, I have a collection now.
That's creepy and amazing. And tell me, so you just put out a cover, Metal. Why did you choose that song to cover?
I really like Gary Newman a lot. I think we have a lot in common, and I think he's a genius. So I hope he likes my cover.
I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will. And speaking of geniuses, I'm really interested. So you work a lot with Titanic Sinclair. Why do you think you guys work so well together?
I think we really complement each other's work really well, and we have an understanding, and I think we were just always meant to collaborate together. He's very, very smart.
Yeah, and how did it come to be that you guys started working together in the first place?
Well, we met in Los Angeles, and yeah, then we started making videos together, and I think people liked them a lot, so we started making music together, and here we are today.
Right, and...
Here I am here today, he isn't here.
Yeah, and what can you remember your first impressions of what he was like when you met him in person?
My first impression was, he has dark hair and he looked maybe sad, but no, he's happy and creative.
Yeah, sure. And okay, so you guys have done a ton of work together. You said that then you mentioned that you started off making videos first, and then it was a sort of a foray into music. When did you decide how did that come around that you were like, hey, we're making videos, let's start off with a music career and sign a record deal?
Oh, I always made music. Even before I started working with Titanic Sinclair, it's always a part of me. So then when we met, we made videos together, and that helped us a lot create music.
You know, I read a really cool quote about Titanic that described him as a combination of Andy Warhol's pop accessibility, David Lynch's creepiness, and Tim Burton's zany comedic tone.
Oh,
What do you think of that?
I think that's very perfect.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate, right? Yeah, he seems like a super interesting guy. So did he really come to you with the concept of Poppy? I mean, as I said, I know you are Poppy. I know this is who you are, but did he help you sort of find, your aesthetic and your vibe?
No, I had this before I met him. I've always been Poppy. And it was just when we started creating together, everything started to make sense.
Okay. Yeah, I can't believe how much of a perfect fit you guys were, really, considering you were just two separate people that met in LA.
Yeah, LA is a crazy place.
Yeah, well, speaking of crazy places, I know you recorded quite a bit in Japan, is that right?
My first album, Poppy.Computer, was recorded in Japan.
Why Japan? Do you feel quite connected to the Japanese culture?
I really like Japanese pop music and their fashion a lot. And I knew that I wanted to create a dance pop, J-pop record. So that's what I did. And I just made this new record called Am I a Girl? And it's not very J-pop, but it's very beautiful.
Tell me about that song.
Am I a Girl, the song?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Am I a Girl hasn't come out yet, but it is the title track to the record.
Okay.
And the tour.
Like an album?
Am I a Girl is the album.
It's an album, okay,
and
cool.
And a song and a tour.
Got ya.
And it's a very fun and dance song, and sometimes I just wonder if I'm a boy or a girl.
Okay.
And sometimes I don't know.
Okay. Do you feel, I interviewed an ambassador in the LGBT community called Nikita Dragon yesterday, and I also interviewed Gigi Gorgeous 2 weeks ago, and it's been a real eye-opener for me. I mean, there's so much to learn about that community, and I think they were both, just talking to Nikita yesterday, she was like, hey, I just didn't feel, I never felt comfortable as a boy, and so I know it's extreme measures, but I just went and did it, and it was, she said did it when she was 18, she started going through the transition, and, getting a tattoo when you're 18 is pretty permanent. People are scared of it, let alone changing your gender. Do you think that it's something more people should be doing, just identifying who they are and making the changes?
Well, first, I have a lot of respect and love for the LGBTQ community. And I think that if you, in your heart, believe that you are meant to be a certain way, that you should go for it.
Couldn't have said it better myself. I agree, and it's I produced a piece for Billboard Pride that came out with Gigi, and I really had no idea about the whole situation. You could easily pass it off and say, oh, that's so much money and so extreme. Like, why do people put themselves through it? But I'm really learning why. It's just like these people just don't feel comfortable literally in their own body, and they want their insides to match their outside. So it's super interesting.
I think it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And I'm glad and lucky that we live in a time where you can do what you wish.
Sure. And I mean, although it's always been there over the years, I feel like in the last maybe, 2 or 3, it's really become not mainstream, but it's so much more, there's so much more awareness and so much more acceptance for it, and I get, honestly, you have to give that credit to social media, really. Mm-hmm. Would you agree?
Social media is very powerful.
Yeah, I mean, it's, obviously it's negative in a lot of ways, but man, it's doing some amazing things as well.
It did some wonderful things for me.
Like what?
Well, it connects me with my fans.
Yep. Gives you the platform to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Nice. And I'm really interested. So you signed with for your last album, you signed with Mad Decent. Obviously, everyone's really curious about, Diplo is obviously a genius and super respected in the industry. What is it about, I'm not sure how closely you worked with him, but what is it about him that sets him apart from everyone else, do you think?
I think the fact that he's a very nice guy, and of course he's talented, but he's very nice, and when you find people that are very nice in the industry, they tend to do well.
Sure. Good. Pretty basic logic there, isn't it? Just be a good dude, don't be a dick, and you'll probably do okay.
Be a nice guy. Or girl.
Yeah, exactly. And how did that come about? Like, how did you go? Because I know you were signed to a different label. How did it come about working with him?
Well, I think he just heard about me and he wanted me to make some music for Matt Decent. And I did. And now this new album, Am I a Girl, is also coming out on Matt Decent. And we may or may not have a song together.
All right. May or may not.
I think
Wink.
maybe we do.
Okay, very coy. And when are you allowed to tell us when that tour starts?
Yes, I think so. Well, the first show that I'm playing is in Vancouver, Canada, September 14th at a music festival. And then it officially starts in Europe at the end of September.
Okay, so you're doing like a little warm-up show in Vancouver first. How do you find performing live? I mean, obviously, you're quite a soft and quiet person, generally, from what I'm gathering. How do you go performing live? Do you switch into a different persona? Does the adrenaline kick in?
I'm me all the time, so I think it's just really easy for me to go on stage and perform. Because when I know my fans are there, they keep me going. They make me excited. But I think performing is just another side of me, and it's a lot of fun.
What do you think you would have done if you never got into music, or, the YouTube thing never took off and you had to get a regular job? What do you think you would have gotten into?
Maybe I would be a professional, pillow fighter or something.
Okay, yeah. Pillow fighter, yeah, that sounds like a pretty good job. I don't know what I'm doing with my life, if that's an option. And I think your manager Danny thinks the same. He's sitting there going, what am I doing? You hear me, don't you? Pillow fighting. Why didn't I think of that? Okay, well, speaking of other professions, you also are an actor as well, really. Tell me about you. You put out a film that came out in Sundance. I Am Poppy. Or I'm Poppy. Tell me about that experience and what it was like acting.
Well, it was really nice to act with actors that aren't mannequins because they tend to express emotion more. So when you're doing a scene with them, you can kind of feed back and forth. Yeah, Charlotte, she taught me a lot of things and she, gave me some good advice, but I think I outgrew her.
She seems a little jealous, huh?
Yeah.
Why do you think that? Why do you think she isn't just happy for you?
Because I think she knows that I'm just, nicer.
Okay.
And like we said, when you're nice, people like you more.
Sure. And do you think she should stop focusing on you and just start maybe looking inward?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm really interested in Poppy.Church right now. Are you allowed to give us any insight into that?
Poppy.Church is where my fans go to worship, and it is a legitimate church. We expect to be recognized as a religion soon, and I really love that I can talk to all of my followers in one place. You really have to just keep coming back to it.
And they kind of subscribe, right? To what's the right wording?
You go in and you create your character.
Like an avatar?
Yep. And you take a little survey and then you sign your name in blood.
Okay.
And after that, you kind of get, sent on little quests.
So they're physically going out and doing things?
A little bit of that.
Like what kind of things do you think?
Well, I can't really tell you too much about it.
Because I've got to sign my name in blood first?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But everyone on there is very, very nice.
They know what they're doing. And when you say it's a place to worship, who are they or what are they worshipping?
They're worshiping Poppy and the Church of Poppy.
Okay, and okay. So, just to clarify, so it's interesting you kind of talk about Poppy in third person. How would you describe? Would you say it's a character that you're playing, or how would you explain that scenario?
I'm Poppy.
Okay, so they're worshipping you essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, It's cool. Maybe I'll get on to starting my own church of worship.
And then after you sign your name in blood, then we can talk more.
Okay, all right. I'll sign up to yours first, figure out how it works, and go from there. I read a quote of yours that said that listening to your music makes you want to rule the world. Mm-hmm. Why do you think people would get that feeling from listening to your music?
It's very empowering, and it's something that isn't happening in the current state of music. I think I'm filling a void.
Okay, so you're sort of giving people something they haven't seen before.
Or maybe they've seen it and just didn't pay attention before.
Okay. So do you think you're kind of spelling it out for people, making it very obvious?
Maybe.
Yeah. And Poppy, considering the content, the YouTube content you're putting out, it is very abstract. Why do you think people are so obsessed with it? Why do you think the videos do so well?
I think maybe, well, I don't know. I just think they like me.
You just put it out and see what happens?
Mm-hmm.
Do you notice, I mean, obviously, you're a smart operator, you know what you're doing. Do you notice some videos do better than others in what you put out? Do you know what your fans like specifically?
Well, there was a little series we were doing for a short time when Charlotte was being mean to her son.
Okay.
But the fans liked that.
So they're pretty into Charlotte then?
Yeah.
So I wonder why Charlotte's so jealous of you if she's actually doing really well on your channel and you're so nice to have her on your channel when you don't have to.
Well, I don't really know.
She just still is, even though it sounds like you've given her a platform.
I try to help out my peers, and sometimes they take the help and sometimes they don't.
Okay.
And when I welcome Charlotte onto my YouTube channel, it's with good intentions.
Okay.
I think the fans really like seeing Charlotte's son, and you should watch that video.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one. I'll check it out.
Yeah.
I'll check it out. Okay, and look, I'm going to wrap this up really quick, but I just wanted to, if you can give the fans any idea of, I'm really interested in this new album. Is there anything, any tips or any secrets you can tell them?
Well, there's lots of dancing, and I hope this music makes you want to dance and wear rhinestones and glitter.
And rule the world?
And rule the world.
What would you say, did Diplo have much to do, did he help you in the production of this album?
On some of the songs, yes.
What did he bring to those songs, do you think, that you wouldn't have been able to do yourself?
The Diplo flair.
Oh yeah? How could you describe the Diplo flair?
He just has a magic touch.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
You can't even describe it, you've got to feel it.
Yeah, you just gotta trust.
Amazing. All right, well, and are you allowed to, do you know when that will be coming out, or it's in the air?
I do know when it will be coming out, but I will tell you that it will be coming out in the fall.
Okay.
Around the tour.
Okay, amazing. All right, well, look, I really appreciate you coming down. That was...
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course.
And
it was
pie.
Really... Sorry?
And pie.
And pie, yeah. I thought you said and bye. I'm like, all right, we'll end it there. And bye. Interview's over. Thanks, Pie. Appreciate you, mate. All right, guys. Well, that was the amazingly cool Poppy in the studio here down at the W Hotel in Hollywood. My name is Xavier Brinkman, and you are listening to the Heard Well Now podcast. We'll catch you next week. Well, that's a wrap on the podcast for this week. I want to say a huge thank you to Castbox for all their support and all of you amazing people for tuning in. Make sure you like, review, and subscribe to our podcast, and we'll catch you next week.